In the last session, we learned the procedure of cleaning the head of the inkjet printer. In this lecture, we are going to study how to replace a trailing cable of inkjet printer and its uses. Introduction to encoder strip and cleaning of inkjet printer encoder strips. Knowledge of working and fixing of inkjet printer gives you practical and technical expertise to maintain a printer efficiently. Let's begin with introduction to a trailing cable. The cable is heavily insulated and protected with their galvanized steel wiring armoring, extra stout braiding, hosepipe or other material. Trailing cable carries electricity from a permanent line or trolley wire to a movable machine such as used in printer. This cable is recognized for its attributes like durability, accurate dimensions, corrosion resistance and high sturdiness. They are used in printer to carry electricity or power from main line. To replace trailing cable during repairing a printer, apply 2 new pieces of double-sided tape to the stabilizer bracket. Ensure that the tape is in the same location as the original tape was. Slide the carriage assembly to the far left side of the slide shaft. While ensuring a 5-inch overhang on the right side, position the trailing cable over the stabilizer bracket and slowly lower it onto the bracket. Now ensure that the trailing cable goes on straight and that there are no buckles in the cable. Firmly press the trailing cable assembly onto the tape to secure it into position and connect the right end to the MPCB at the J6 location. Tape the ferrite to the trailing cable from the left side of the side plate. If the carriage assembly is not installed, then install the carriage assembly, carriage belt and the frame tensioner procedures. If the carriage assembly is installed, insert the trailing cable assembly into the strain relief assembly. Insert the strain relief onto the carriage assembly by sliding it onto the strain relief support until it snaps firmly into place. How to identify the encoder strip? The encoder strip is a thin plastic band running the length of the printer with very small lines running vertically through it. The encoder strip is a plastic strip with tiny vertical black lines on it that the print carriage uses with an optical sensor to read its speed and position within the printer. Anything that was disconnected or damaged on a printer will make it unserviceable and needs to be replaced. It runs through a small slot or opening in the carriage and attaches at each end of the printer frame inside. One side usually has a spring or a spring metal piece that applies tension to the strip. The working of encoder strip is to help to identify its position using a sensor located on the ink station. You can see that it is very important for the printer to have a clean encoder strip because ink will build up on the encoder strip over time, causing the printer to misalign spacing along with potential printer failure. It is important to clean the encoder strip for proper functioning of printer. To clean an encoder strip, use pre-saturated alcohol cotton swabs. Take the cotton swab and slide it from side to side. You will be able to see ink buildup on the cotton swab when finished. Remember not to tug or pull on the encoder strip. Please use care when cleaning. Parts and components of a typical inkjet printer include a print head assembly and paper feed assembly. Let's go in detail and study these two parts. Print head assembly consists of print head, ink cartridges, print head stepper motor, belt and stabilizer bar. Print head is the core of an inkjet printer. The print head contains a series of nozzles that are used to spray drops of ink. Print head stepper motor is a kind of stepper motor which makes moving the print head assembly back and forth across the paper. Paper feed assembly consists of paper tray or feeder, rollers, paper feed stepper motor, control circuitry and interface ports. Paper feeder is used to load the paper, and rollers pull the paper in from the tray feeder and advance the paper when the print head assembly is ready for another pass. Control circuitry is built into the printer to control all the mechanical aspects. The parallel port is still used by many printers, but most newer printers use the USB port. Let's understand the working of an inkjet printer. The working starts as soon as you click on printing command in order to print a page. There is a sequence of events that take place. The software application you are using sends the data to be printed to the printer driver. The driver translates the data into a format that the printer can understand and checks to see that the printer is online and available to print. The data is sent by the driver from the computer to the printer via the connection interface.